Happy day, and 'tis the season to be jolly. It is Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson. And are you surviving? Let me just ask you that, because I couldn't believe it was before Thanksgiving. I went shopping on a Saturday, and there were people all over the place. And I was just like, and they had doorbuster. I was going, okay, well, I'm really glad they have it, because I was not going to be able to go shopping the day after Thanksgiving because I was going to be traveling. However, it was still surprising for me. But I did get some good deals, and that was awesome. But anyways, I hope you're doing great and that you're just trucking along with everything for the holiday. I have got some great guests coming up on the show. I've got Corey Schoonover, and he's got some fur babies. So excited to share that. And then also, I have got a fella I've not had on before. My goodness, and he's walking, talking history, folks. He's just awesome. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. It is Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You know, you took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. It's always fun when I get to have little fur babies on the show. I have got Corey Schoonover. He is the Executive Director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society. And Corey, we have a couple of little friends. These are precious little kittens. I mean, I know it's early in the segment yet, so we have to see where it goes, because sometimes they might get excitable, which is okay with me because they are babies. But they are so calm and precious right now. Who do we have with us?
Yep. Peter and Pepper.
Peter and Pepper?
Yep. I don't know which one's which, so please don't ask. So they probably don't know either, so you don't have to keep their names if you weren't wanting to adopt. So I thought, you asked me to bring something, and I've never brought in kittens before.
No, you have not.
So,
you have not.
For specific reasons, but you know what? I wanted to talk about kittens because we're kind of in the second kitten season of the year, if you will.
Okay.
We call it fall kitten season.
And what does that mean when you say that, for those who don't know?
So in the spring is really when you see babies being born, right? Whether it's wildlife or your stray cats in the neighborhood or whatnot. So it's always been spring, and then there's always that second one in the fall, and that's where we are. And I've also noticed a little bit of a new trend where we're actually adopting more cats and kittens than we are dogs.
Really?
Which in my 15 years has rarely happened. So
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you. So.
Do you want my thoughts on why?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Why? Why is that? Why do you
think, when you look at, just the economy over the last 2 years, animal welfare did really well. We did really well during COVID, and that was kind of the, people were home more, people changed jobs, and so we saw a lot of adoptions. Now I look at it from a different perspective in terms of, everybody knows everything's more expensive these days. Cats and kittens are less expensive.
Yeah.
They're less expensive. Yeah. They're easier to take care
of. They are, yes.
They do knock over plants, but so do dogs. But I think, you look at, and if you need to get two's better than one when it comes to kittens because they entertain each other.
I was going to ask that. Yeah, okay.
I think they're easier. Like, let's say you like to go away on a long weekend, which I feel like everybody does these days. a kitten or cats don't require boarding. You don't have
No,
to.
they don't.
You don't have to have someone come over. I mean, you can, but like, look, leave extra food, leave extra water. You have clean litter boxes.
Well, and some do those
Yeah.
when they do leave for a few
Yeah.
days. Those where the food is.
Yeah. I think they're a
continue.
little more self-sufficient,
They are.
right?
Yeah. They
So I'm kind of leaning into that
Yeah.
in terms of, hey, here's these two sweet guys that need some homes. So they, scratching posts. The toys are easy. They don't have to go on long walks. They can go on walks. My son has a cat that he walks in the neighborhood on a leash. It's really
that's funny.
really odd, but the cat loves it.
Now, you are one of those, and I know this from years of having you as a guest,
Yeah.
that if you have a cat, you highly recommend that they be indoor cat. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, to have them spayed and
Yeah,
or neutered.
which
Yeah,
with
whichever, yeah,
adoption, all of ours are fixed, vaccinated, all as healthy as we can get them and ready to go. But yes, we adopt them as only indoor cats, unless we've had a cat come in a situation where it was injured, it was an outside cat. Making an outdoor cat an indoor cat is a little harder.
Yes.
But like in this situation with these guys, they haven't known anything different. So keeping him inside is just safer.
Yeah.
It's safer for the cats. It's safer for the wildlife outside. It's safer for your relationship with your neighbors.
Yes.
So yeah, we
Yes,
definitely
yes.
recommend that they stay inside. And it's like a whole package of entertainment.
I was
It's
just
like
going to say that too. I'm like, as we're sitting
Yeah.
here on set, it's just like, where are they going to go next? What are they going to do
Now,
next? It's really funny.
as we talk about like right before Christmas, obviously you've seen plenty of videos online where cats and Christmas trees are a whole different level of entertainment,
yes.
I would say. So if you get some new kittens, maybe you don't put the super nice ornaments on the tree.
This year,
Yeah,
correct?
you know,
or ever, if you have a cat
wait-
that is
wait until
a true climber. That
Yes. I saw one
You're right,
where,
though.
okay, you've heard of a catio, right? It's like an outdoor enclosed patio for cats. I saw someone put one of those around their Christmas tree in the house. So the catio wasn't for the cats, it was for the Christmas tree to be protected from the cats. So I thought that was pretty ingenious. So
When you speaking of the Christmas tree and the decorations, what do you recommend for even not just cats, those who have puppies or dogs, in their home for the first time? Because people adopt all ages. It doesn't have to be a kitten or a puppy.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of you ease anything that you're bringing home, you ease it into to what you have going on. So if you get one right before you decorate, then you almost include them in the decorating. So they know what's up, they know what's not to touch, whatever.
Or the tree's bare from this point.
We had done that when I was growing up. Like there weren't any ornaments below, and that was really for the dogs just as much.
Sometimes
right?
it's for kids as well. We have toddlers.
And again, all of the nice ornaments when our kids were little were put away. Like there was no, if it wasn't a handmade ornament from school, it was the 50-cent ornaments. And I really just think it's, just use some common sense with it in terms of
tinsel.
Do they even sell tinsel anymore?
I don't know.
I like tinsel's not.
Or even Easter baskets.
you're
They
just
have
gonna-
that little
yes.
for because you have a fur baby. Easter's going to come around too.
Yeah.
Those
we
Easter
we
baskets.
don't. I don't recommend any
stuffing.
of that stuff. But that's more of 'cause
Ever.
I don't like it on the floor.
Right.
Not
The
even just for
vacuum.
animals. But I think again, it's just a little more of figuring it out but starting slow. It's no different than when you're integrating a new animal into the house any time of the year. It's just let them know what the limits are. And then again, that's just why like two's better than one, because what if I only brought one?
Themselves. You're right.
They'd be jumping all over you and not leave you alone. And this is a situation where you can enjoy it.
And he's not being a salesperson at this point. No, I totally agree with you. A friend of
Right?
mine, seriously, and I mean, I'm telling people that because it's the truth. They really are better when they are two together. And they don't eat a whole lot.
They're like
Cats
squirrels.
Just don't.
They're little
They
squirrels.
are so funny, but they do climb. And they can be very clever and very smart. They
Sure.
know what the treat jar is. If you don't have it to where they
Yeah.
can get, if you have it where they can get to it, they will jump up and knock it off and get those treats when you're not home.
Yeah, so I think,
I've seen a friend's cat do that.
yeah, like maybe like 100 cords laying around, like audio video equipment might not be great. They're super distracting. I don't even know what we're talking about at this point. Please don't chew on those.
Please
I don't want to
chewing.
replace that. So that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
We get they're easier. That's really it. And this time of year, we're into the giving season. We have, I don't want to say we have hundreds, but it feels like we do. And we're constantly still getting calls. So part of our spay and neuter stuff is our TNR program, because these guys came as strays.
They did.
With their mom, which their mom happens to be a Siamese, so I don't even know. And then they have another sibling at the shelter. But yeah, it's really that time of year to find some homes, or if you can't bring one in, it's that time of year for our donation drive and our membership drive.
Okay.
So I
Yes.
am a salesman in that regard.
Well,
I
yeah,
can't not
absolutely,
mention
because that's how you keep going on. And I want
Right.
to, we've got a couple of minutes, but really quickly, maybe 30 seconds. What are your feelings about people getting and adopting animals for somebody else as a gift at the holidays?
Oh, we make sure everybody's on board.
Yeah.
So,
okay. You do. You're very
even
careful
if
with that, 'cause
okay,
it's not a wise thing to surprise anybody with.
It's not, because like when you give me a gift, whether I like it or not, I have a smile on my face and I say thank you very much.
And some you can regift.
Yes.
Pets and cats and dogs and puppies and kittens, you can't really regift.
Not so much. And I get the I get the idea. Let's say it's for your older parents and they're lonely and that type of thing. It makes sense, but you need to talk to them about it, or you need to be prepared if they don't want anything to do with it, or it just doesn't work out, that you're prepared to take it on.
Yes.
Because listen, as soon as these two leave and fill up or empty out a kennel, we have 2 more coming in. So it's just one of those things. We want people to keep considering adoption, and if it's really one of those, like, what's the easiest? I'm going to tell you, the kittens seem to be like just less maintenance when it comes down to it.
No, they really are. You don't have to take them out every time they bark. They are.
And 2 is always better than 1.
And 2 is better than 1.
12 is not better than 2. Let's be clear. But 2 is better than 1.
That's right. Okay, so the membership drive, really quickly.
Yeah, it's mailed out. It's hit the mail this a couple weeks ago. But just make sure, like, if you didn't get one, or if you're thinking about it, if you have questions, call me. I answer the phone. Or check it out. It's also posted on our website at fairhumane.org, and then you can see all the available kittens and cats and puppies and dogs too.
When I say full service Humane Society, the Fairfield Area Humane Society is full service. You have it all.
Veterinarian, we have a vet clinic, you name it, grooming, boarding, dog training, and another new building coming soon.
So
in the process. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. We'll talk about that after the first of the year.
Sure.
Right? That sound good?
Yep.
CoreyFairHumane.org is the website.
Check
them out. Maybe we can find new homes for our little fur babies that we have today.
Where'd they go?
Thank you so much. They are playing with your mic cord, so it's kind
Awesome.
of hilarious. Folks, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I've got another guest coming up. It is Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local, we are trusted, we are experienced.
Welcome back. It is Down Home with Tina. I have got Jerry Waits with me. He is here to talk. I think he's walking, talking history is what I think, because we are sitting here, and I know that we could talk for hours and hours, because born and raised in Lancaster, Jerry?
The only time I have not had a residence in Lancaster was when I served in the Navy.
Oh, thank you.
And then when I began working with the state as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, I thought I'd save time by moving to Reynoldsburg, and after about a year, I realized that I saved about 7 minutes by moving. And since when I left for the Navy, I wanted to become a citizen of the world. By the time that 4 years was over, I just really related to Dorothy when she was always saying, there's no place like home, there's no place like home. I saw many beautiful places when I was in the Navy, but no place was ever as beautiful or as dear to my heart than this county and this city.
There you go. Very nice. And you've just been here serving the city ever since?
I've been blessed just to be here.
Good. Very good. Jerry's here, folks, to talk to me about Foundation Shelters.
Yes.
And that is serving. And is it volunteer? Are you on payroll? How is that? Not to get into too much, but I know you said serving your city.
The easiest way would be to tell you the story of the shelter.
Please do. Please do. Which, yes, comes from Foundation Dinners.
In the early 90s, a small businessman, Ed Klum, very strong man, very strong in his faith, just could not stand seeing how many people were going hungry. And he took one of his buildings and converted it into the Foundation Dinners, where they fed people 3 days a week, 365.25 days per year. I can still remember times when they were open when even the police were like shut down.
Yeah.
If ice, snow, they always fed people.
Made sure every single day, 3 meals a day throughout the year.
And then in the mid-90s, Ed saw that there were people starting to sleep under bridges. Mid-90s, that's 30 years ago.
Yeah,
practically.
That would be about right, yeah.
And so he took his other building and he turned it into a homeless shelter, gathered local citizens who were interested and caring, and started the Foundation Homeless Shelters, and it's been in operation since '95. In those early days, to answer your question, in those early days, everybody was a volunteer. But in those early days, and I was one of them, in those early days, I remember one night I came in and opened the shelter and nobody showed up. Because it just wasn't something, it was beginning really. And in a community like Lancaster, we're not far enough down the road to where everybody calls us Hicks, and we're not far enough up the road till everybody calls us big city people.
Right.
We're kind of in a beautiful intermediary place, but
I agree.
The hardships and the wear and tear on our society, it goes from the population centers down, and it's been growing. I have some figures on the growth in the homeless population.
Please. Yes.
As I said, mid-90s, I can remember one night.
Yes.
Of course, in the mid-90s, everybody was a volunteer. Pastors, teachers, usually, just folks that cared.
Yeah.
And you'd be on duty for one night, and you might have 2 or 3 or 4 people at the most. However, as the problem got more and more challenging, and it required people who could be there on a regular basis more often, because it really did require learning how to handle the situation.
Oh, absolutely, because we're dealing with mental illness, and I'm not going to say all homeless people, but there's sometimes drug addiction, alcoholism, which all of that can kind of play in together, and sometimes not. Sometimes you just have somebody that just has found themselves in a situation
it is a
where
really complex.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's all across the board. Yeah, it just
Part
so
of
you
it
would
comes
have to be trained.
Part of it comes from
and
social situations. Example. In a paper published by the federal government, and it's called Homelessness 101, they give the example of many of us, especially now, we all hear about families that are, the number of families that are living paycheck to paycheck, growing and growing.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's grown a lot. When I was young in this city, we had ice cream parlors and candy stores, and now we have fast, quick loan businesses
yes.
and pawn shops, and I'm not putting those businesses down.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
saying that reflects
change,
what's been
the
going
fix.
on in our society. And my point being that as more live paycheck to paycheck, then something happens and you can't make your rent
Correct.
payment.
Yes.
But you have family supports and somebody helps you out.
Yeah.
But if you don't have those kind of family supports that can help you out, you can end up homeless a lot easier
Absolutely.
than many people believe. It is true that many of the folks that are homeless, and I think this was more prevalent in the early years, that substance abuse was the most obvious thing that came up. But now I would say that is still there, but the substance abuse is clearly either related to, the cause of, or the result of
Right.
other issues.
Oh, right.
Stressful issues, not only the issues of substance abuse and I don't like to say mental health problems. I like
know,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
emotional fragility.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, those of us who can't take the blows quite as much, and they come pretty fast and strong in today's society.
Yes, they do. The numbers continue to increase each year,
Yeah.
or is there a steady?
My friends will all tell you that my verbosity is my greatest danger, but I'll try to be brief in this case. This is the last numbers I looked at, starting with last month, October, go back 12 months, and then the 12 months previous to that, the number of times we filled a bed increased by 31%. Now, when you hear the word 31 or the number 31, it may not seem like that's all that alarming, but it is. I mean,
it is. That's
31%, even if you only grow by 20% a year in no time.
right.
I mean, I have not had a night when we closed because there wasn't anybody there. In fact,
Really.
within the last 4 weeks was the first time I remember when every bed in both buildings was full.
Okay, so definitely during the winter months.
We have-
Times change for winter months for the homeless shelter than in the summer? Yes, no?
We have, right now, we're opening the doors at 7. I don't really like that. It's really been dark for an hour,
No,
but
yeah.
you see, we exist entirely on donations from local individuals, families,
what I was gonna ask you
churches,
next.
but also
Yeah.
there are businesses and social organizations that are very generous trying to help us keep our doors open. But your question was, when do we open in the winter? Well, there
Yeah.
was a time when we opened at 5, but quite frankly, our costs have grown so much. We do pay our innkeepers now. I have a salary.
Okay, you do.
And the pay is really good. An innkeeper gets $7.25 an hour.
Wow.
But there are people
Wow.
who, while they need to make maybe have an extra job to make
Yeah.
a little extra money,
Yeah.
they're still willing to work for $7.25 an hour because it gives them the extra money they need to make their bills, but also allows them to serve the Lord at
That's
the
it.
same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
the people who are willing to be innkeepers, I
Very
just thank
special.
God for them.
Yeah,
That's all.
special, very special. Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left. What are some of those donations, other than monetary donations? I'm sure the Foundation shelters are always taking.
Every year, we get donations of hats and gloves and winter socks and the sorts of things that homeless people can use. Chapstick, cough drops, all that. But the thing is, during the early years, donations during the holiday season, they always made up deficits from earlier in the year.
Okay,
You know,
yes.
like costs might be $6,000 a month, but we only brought in 5. But then the holidays would come along and it would make it all up, and there'd be some extra.
Okay.
And for
nice.
20 years it mounted. And then the increase in homeless demands for service went up to the point where the extra started going down.
Yeah.
In fact, our cushion was reduced by over 80%, and we've had to reduce, even though they only make $7.25 an hour, we reduced the hours. So October and March, we open at 7. November and March, and then December, January, February, we open at 6.
And I know that you've got men, women, women and children and separated. So
Occasionally we will have a child,
Yes.
but we have a men's dorm with 18 beds, a women's dorm with 8, but we're going to have to try to figure out how to get some more beds in there because the ladies' dorm was full.
Was it?
In fact, I had never seen where all the bunks were full until recently.
What is your contact information before we go? Because we're about out of time for anybody who can help you with those things.
Our address is 800 West 6th Avenue here in Lancaster. The phone number is 740-653-1960. I have been trying to move into the modern era and get our Facebook working up, and that is there are many shelters in the United States that have the word foundation in it. So if you want to look at the Foundation Shelter out of Lancaster, look for the Foundation Shelters.
Okay.
And you'll get ours, and you'll see this very handsome roly-poly guy on the cover, so you'll know you'll know you got the right one.
Jerry,
but
thank
the numbers
you so
are
much.
way up.
Okay.
And the thing we need the most is we really do need some operating capital.
Okay.
It's shrinking rapidly, and we're full.
Anybody find the needs that they want to help and be able to, gift you guys. Tis the season to be giving. Jerry, thank you so much, dear. Folks, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. It is Down Home with Tina.
For the last 30 years, I've worked in Fairfield County. The beauty of working in this county is it's small enough that you get to know people on an individual level, that you get to do the kind of work you want to do personally, but it's large enough that we have some resources and we have some ability to bring coalitions together to make some bigger changes.
You have the benefits of a suburban community, and Columbus isn't too far away if you want to get that urban experience. Plus, if I ever feel like I need to get away for a little bit, there's tons of great hiking around here.
Well, Fairfield County is just a really different county, so it's very resource rich. There are so many people in similar and overlapping helping fields. They make excellent community partners.
We all know each other and we don't compete with each other. Like agency-wide, we're all here to serve our clients, and you know someone everywhere, you know what I mean? And so that, I just feel like that helps it to get our clients the best care. So that's a big thing for me.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
Down Home with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. Folks, I just wanted to share with you really briefly that I was asked, how are you? And I thought maybe it's because the older that I'm getting and I'm just realizing, but I am great. I said I woke up this morning, and it's such one of those things where it's like, oh, whatever. Anyways, I had a really dear friend of mine pass away. He was a guest on the show. He was a veteran of the month with another fella that the one fellow was the lieutenant colonel in my unit years ago, and Captain Dotson, he was my company commander. He retired as a major. He passed away. It is a holiday season. Folks, that was very hard for me. And I just want you to reach out to your loved one. If you've got things going on in your life, in your family, your relationship, make it happen. Life is too short not to let your loved ones know that you care. Never leave anybody behind. I hope you have a great one. I'll be back next week. God bless and good day.